Well, the whole city of Washington, the country, is sort of abuzz about the fact that President Obama promised on tape 7, 8, 9 times that the health care debate, discussion, negotiation would be on C-SPAN. If you were President of the United States, would it be on C-SPAN? Do you agree with that?
Well, he made the promise, and if you make a promise like that, you got to keep it. But there have been a lot bigger promises he's made that he's not kept, and perhaps the most important of which was that he would have this process an open process. There'd be a bipartisan effort, that there'd be a new style of politics in Washington, and the style that he's brought has been far more of a backroom, if you will, a bribery type of arrangement that we've seen in many, many years.
Why? Why have he made those promises about having it open and that people, everybody have a seat at the table, for instance? Why, in your opinion, since you don't think that he kept those promises, didn't he or hasn't he?
Well, I can't guess as to what his own motivation was, other than the fact that he has been very, very unsuccessful in his first year, has not been able to accomplish virtually anything, Greta, and as a result, he's really pinning all of his hopes on seeing something happen with health care. And what's occurred, of course, is he's created a monster. This health care bill that's being fashioned by the two houses right now doesn't make any sense at all, and it really ought to be scrapped, and they ought to start over again. But he's got to get some success, so he's pushing so hard. He doesn't want people to see just how ugly the process is and how bad this bill is.
All right. In 2006, when you were governor of Massachusetts, they passed the health care in Massachusetts that you signed. Is there anything that you learned from the Massachusetts bill and what has transpired there, good or bad or indifferent, that would be helpful to the process here for the nation on a national health care?
Well, there's no question there are a lot of lessons to be learned from the Massachusetts experience. The first is issues like getting everybody insured should be solved at the state level, not at the federal level with a one-size-fits-all plan that's put together by Congress. That's number one. Number two, you don't raise taxes on people to put it in place, which they're intent on doing. Number three, you don't put a mandate on businesses. That's not going to create jobs at a critical time like this. Number four, you don't cut Medicare. You don't put the cost of this system on the backs of our senior citizens. Everything about this bill is wrong-headed, and that's why I think the American people are going to reject those that are the sponsors of it.
Well, when you talk about that, we've had the discussion many times here and on the record tonight is that people think that the people who think that this bill is lousy say that next November in the midterm elections, and I suppose 2 years later, is that the voters will take it out on those who voted for it. Here's the problem, though, is that we will have the bill at that point unless we try to make it better now. Do you have any recommendation to try to fix it, try to persuade some of your ideas into this new bill, or are we just stuck with whatever is going to be handed us?
There's no question but that if Republicans were invited to sit down at the table with Democrats and take enough time to do this properly, you could improve the bill. There's been a lot that's been learned, not just in Massachusetts, but other states. By the way, problems to avoid and opportunities that exist. Look, there's a real need for health care reform in this country, but that isn't what's going on right now. This is all about politics, not about helping the American people with a better health care bill. But if people were serious about focusing on health care and improving it, we could achieve some great things here. But I don't think that's in the cards right now. This is something which is being so aggressively pushed. Today, Paul Kirk, for instance, who's the temporary senator from Massachusetts, said that if a Republican is elected in the special election in Massachusetts that's replacing Senator Kennedy, that he, Paul Kirk, will stay in office in order to cast the deciding vote. He won't let the voice of the people decide what should happen with health care reform. They're pulling out all the stops in one of the most ugly partisan processes I think Washington has seen in a long, long time.